All right.
Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Another exciting Saturday evening that you get to spend with our controversial minds.
All right.
Well, we're glad you guys taking the time out to join us tonight. And I'm sure we're going to have a great highlighted conversation tonight, talking about some great things, getting set for, what's it, next week after next, the change in our American democracy.
Yeah.
And for whichever perspective that's going to be in, there will be a change.
Woo!
And
either for the good or for the bad, right? But there will be a change.
For the good.
For the good. That's
for the
all.
good.
Yeah, we're gonna stay positive.
Right.
Or Miss Ming would say positive.
Yeah, for all that's involved in it, at the end of the day, it will be just that,
Yeah.
So as we always say, so whether you agree or disagree or whatever, the highlights tonight, we're just going to talk about the great things that we're going to be expecting, as these administrations change over, because the divisiveness, it continues because people like to be divisive. You know what I'm saying? It does. Rhetoric continues because you like being, having rhetoric around you, at the end of the day. And just so happened that, one of the candidates, enjoys that, at the end of the day. And, the other, maybe not quite as much, in it, but I think that's really trying to stick with, more policy driven, if you might as well say, in that, and really trying to bring a great light, to that side of things, which I believe personally they should have been all doing in the beginning. Okay, throwing daggers at each other, and see who can get closest to the heart, is really not benefiting the American people at all. I would have been, you and I were talking about this past week, I would have been even more impressed, or am going to be more impressed, is that I want to hear solutions that are going to bring us together as a country. Okay, but it can't be one-sided. It just can't be one person necessarily that's talking about that. As a whole, collectively here on the show, we all agree that that the major problem is not even the candidates that run. The major problem is what's in Washington. The House, the Senate, the Congress, all that needs to change. And I will hold fast to that. And maybe one of these candidates will find a way, whoever gets in, to be able to start that assessment. Going, I don't think so, but it may or may not happen, and it's just so difficult, around it, because anything that anybody tries to move forward, as we know in times past, gets blocked. It doesn't happen this way because I don't believe in what you're doing. I want to keep these certain people in bondage, to a certain level of things and all that. So, it does draw a point for a lot of pause. But honestly, I think, again, for what the American people really want to see, they won't see it until, we find a way to revert the Senate, the Congress, in the House. It just, and get rid of them damn Supreme Court, put some right people, some fair-minded people in there, make decisions like that. But anyway, so we'll dig into that a little bit tonight. I want to remind you, first of all, you have the opportunity tonight, as any night going forward, that you can call into the show live. Yes. In season 5, call in live. All right, that's a good one. Season 5, call in live. Just dial the number on your screen, 213-358-5553. We will hopefully pick you up and be able to get you in there. Or if we're not responding to your call, send a text message, as well, and we will read your comment right on air, so you are actually being able to be a part of this live broadcast.
Right.
So something else we're doing new this season as well. Gentlemen, how are you? Looking good, looking happy, looking excited. Y'all look good all the way down in Atlanta.
Love and happiness.
Yeah. Down in Atlanta. How's the weather down in Atlanta?
Mixed up as usual.
See, I don't know whether you're hot or cold.
Yeah.
You sound like the citizens.
Don't worry, we're getting bipolar weather too, Charles.
No, Mister, it sound like the citizens in Georgia. Hot, they don't know whether they're hot or cold. So
No, that's nationwide.
Yeah.
We're all catching bipolar weather, so don't feel like you're on this boat by yourself. It's been cold, it's been hot here, and it's the same in other places. That's why we having all these hurricanes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. Darnell, how are you?
I am wonderful. I can't complain. I'm ecstatic that we are literally less than 10 days to the change that needs to happen.
Yes.
I'm a person that I believe in speaking what I want to see.
Hmm.
I don't leave room. I feel like if you start to speaking anything outside of what you want, you're leaving room for error.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. I like
and
that.
and that's what I usually teach my patients. A lot of times that when you want something, you speak it,
Uh-huh.
and you keep speaking it until you see it. And
Mhm.
Right.
for the Christian folks, that's what they call faith.
Yeah. Well, this.
So,
Uh-huh.
all is well. All is well. What about you guys?
Good. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel good. I mean, work keeps us going. I'm not
Yes,
gonna lie.
sir.
I feel like I work more than I stay home. So,
Right.
and I feel like that's almost, hey, every American right now. That's
Hmm.
why we're so all over the place in our thinking. To
Hmm.
be honest with you, especially when it boils down to this election, I want to say that at the end of the day, I want something positive to come out of this. I
Hmm.
really do. I really want us to come together as well as a nation and be better.
Hmm.
But hey, I'm a realist too, so I want us to come together. But there's just always this little, you know, I would say little quirk in our nation that likes to divide and separate,
Hmm.
whether it's through forms of race or just financial means. It's always something to divide us. So
Hmm.
hopefully, this election will prove that as Americans, we can still come together and push through.
Right.
So hey, that's what I'm looking forward to, Darnell. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that it happened. I believe it. I believe in that it will. I'm because you have to think about the shift that happened, even with the factor of just the announcing of her candidacy. That you can feel the weight of the people lift or
Mm.
whatever. The only reason why we're feeling a little heaviness now because people are anxious to know what the end result is going to be. So that
Right.
therefore they don't want to get their hopes up saying, "Oh, this is gonna be great," and then it be like a kid where you hold dangling a piece of candy in front of their face and then you snatch it away, type situation. So I think that once you get in, you will start to feeling the lightness of it, and we're going into the holiday season, so it'll be a
Right.
great thing to be able to have that happen and go into the season in the new year with some greatness, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Well,
true.
this is always my favorite time of year. I mean, going into the holiday season, I love the holiday season.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, I really do, and it is, again, it's exciting for me, and so I'm hoping that we for whatever the turnout is, that it turns out to what it's supposed to be turned out to be. I think that's
Hmm.
probably going to be the best way to do it because you know. I don't know. Like we talked about in production meeting, there's going to be a whole host of people that are going to be disappointed, on either side. You know, so so our questions could be for tonight. So, what are you going to do if it doesn't turn out the way that you want it to turn out?
Mm, like I
You know
did
what
with.
I'm saying?
Mhm. Go
You
ahead,
know.
Darnell. Go ahead. I know that's coming up out of you. Go ahead. You
So
take this.
that's the good question I always ask the people. So, but you also have to say this too.
Yes.
If it does not turn out for some of the ones the way that they wanted to turn out, did they actually do their part?
Mm,
So it could
okay.
turn out the way that it should.
Right.
You can't get upset on how it turns out if you didn't do your part.
Right.
Mhm.
This is true.
You know, that's that. It's so many things that's at stake right now.
Right.
When it come down to just not getting up and doing your part.
Right.
With all these laws that these states are passing, with the factor of the biggest one they're talking about that's the hottest ticket right now is the abortion plans and bans and all of this. Um, that's a lot. You have women who are out here that's having to deal with someone telling them what they should and should not do with their
Right.
body. And to be able, some who can't even have kids and trying to have them, and they're trying to block the factor of that even happening. And it's just it's crazy to see just a moment in time this far in history that these people are having to deal with stuff like that. That's
Mm.
weird to me.
Right. All right. You know, it draws pause to, to where and how again people are going to be looking at situations. Now, the one thing I'll say, we said in production meeting, we're not going to focus on the other guy and his points of what he likes to say. The one thing I do have to say against that is that I don't think that you should be pushing an agenda to say that if I do lose, what's going to happen to the country. You see what I'm saying? And then, or suggesting that it should be form of retaliation because of who I think I am, that you should support that and tear up the country. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think that is hugely wrong. That to me, that it surfaces in on being a sore loser and letting everybody know that you're a sore loser from the beginning. And it shouldn't be that. It should be the fact that if it goes your way, so be it. And if it doesn't go your way, so be it. I mean, at the end of the day, because that's what fair in a democracy, whether it is a political side or whatever. Just like here, I mean, the World Series is being played right here in LA. At the end of the day, with the opposing team can't want to beat up everybody in the stand because they lost. I mean, at the end of the day, it's taking what the responsibility, either they played better or whatever, the opposite team played better, whatever the case may be, and that's fair sportsmanship. But when you indicate that your people, followers, or whomever you want to, whatever you want to, they should retaliate in a way because they didn't get what they want, that's wrong. I mean, on so many levels, and that should not be, I think, put out there, for people that don't have the right mindset, because the people that don't have the right mindset take that as you're saying, okay, it's okay for me to go out and shoot my neighbor because my neighbor didn't agree with me.
Well, there's a difference. I'm gonna tell you, like Al Green say, love and happiness. Love will make you do wrong. Love will make you do right. It make you want to do right. So when you love something, your mind is distorted. You find your path the way you feel and within your heart. Now, whether that's dark or light, that's up to the individual. But everybody is passionate about how they feel. So even when you're the child with the chocolate on your mouth, and your mom say, "Who ate them damn cookies?" and you go, "I don't know." And there's chocolate everywhere. You know what you done, but when you want something, you're gonna do what you do. And the Republicans are relentless with that. They go after what they want, no matter what, and they don't care. The Democrats, we could have easily put more judges up there in the Supreme Court to balance that out. But Biden, as most Democrats are, we want to be fair. We want to do everybody like we want to be done. Republicans don't give a damn how you done. They put them guys up there. They changed the laws. They've been gerrymandering the cities. They don't care. It's when you try to voice it, Fred Flintstone said it best. Nice guys finish last.
That's true.
Well, my nephew stated that he's military. He stated that they have their orders that therefore that they are on standby.
Wow.
They said they are not. He said they've already told them that therefore be geared up for next week. That they are on standby, and therefore they said it will not. And they said will not be another incident again. They said we slacked a little bit on the last one, but it will not happen again.
But see, that's been us readiness ever since I was in the military. I served 4.5 years out there in the on the USS Nimitz. I was out there for the Iran hostage rescue. I was there for when we shot down the Russian MiG. I was there for a lot of that stuff. I was involved in a plane crash that killed 16 of my fellow sailors. And that's what we peacetime. We stayed on alert. When Sadat was killed in that bombing, we left Venice at the drop of a hat. We just got on land. We dropped off, picked us back up within a couple hours, and took us back to the ship to head over toward the coast, the Horn of Africa, in order to be prepared. There's never a moment we're not ready and we're not prepared for what's going on. When you become a part of the military, your life is on standby constantly. There is no such thing as we on leave, we on release till this happens. You are on standby, and whether it's peacetime or wartime. We are the American public. I was in Puerto Rico when they were shooting sailors, and then and we started to the point where we couldn't even wear our uniforms nowhere. In no country, nowhere, we had to stay in our civilian clothes because the United States is always on alert and call all the time.
Wow.
My thing is, why do most Americans not know how totalitarian governments are started? Most of them are started with coups anyway. So when you think of events like January 6th and how that happened, you think about all over in certain places within the world where there are certain forms of government that it took violence to get that set up. I don't understand why we don't understand that has happened here almost to the point that it could have switched some things around. And it can still happen again. There are militias out there getting prepared.
Right.
You have those who in Chicago, places out there in the sticks, probably out there where I'm from too, that are getting prepared, have their guns ready just in case. If he comes on Twitter or come on whatever and say, let's get this thing popping, they're ready to pop.
And rich folks with silos. Rich folks have underground silos already been built for the last 20 years. Where if something happens, they'll go underground. They've got 2-3 years worth of food and store and stock to keep them ready whenever to go. The government has silos underground. If ever a nuclear war, whatever happens, they can hide and rebuild the infrastructure and the population on their own. They've been ready for years. The problem is we as regular citizens, we don't take this seriously, and we don't. We do all this conspiracy stuff. Well, you know, they control tornadoes. They go in this machine and make tornadoes hit Republican areas and wipe them out, and then they don't give us no help. Come on, man. We
think it happens in places like Cuba and Venezuela and all these other places. We think that happens somewhere far off. It can never happen here, but it has happened here. You know, you think about when this is where my history 9/11, but this is where my history comes in. What Fort Sumter? That was a demonstration right there to change up the form of government. You had militias who attacked a government-owned property that was a barrack that was ran by, you know, the federal government. And in order for the Confederates to secede from the Union, they attacked that fort. Because that was where it was. It was off the coast of South Carolina. But that in itself was a coup.
Just like the insurrection, it was a love fest.
Yes, hey. That love fest got people killed. But the saddest thing about that is the American people, we live underneath such a rock of fluff.
We feel entitled.
That nothing can touch this country. Nothing can
feel entitled.
Change the Constitution.
Too entitled.
Exactly. Well, you know,
we are entitled. We are so entitled.
But let's not forget about Black Wall Street. Okay. Let's not forget about was it Rosewood? Let's not forget about how all of those things are a representation of the same mindsets. You know, because we had a group of people that didn't want this group of people, typically African Americans, to be successful in this society. So therefore, what we're going to go in is that we'll get a militia group together. We'll go in and we'll destroy the city. We'll burn
Central Park.
Yeah. And, you know, and the list goes. I mean, there's so many places like, you know, in Georgia that these events happen, but they're
Lake Lanier.
Right, I was about to say Lake Lanier, but they've been removed from the history books so that certain people groups will not be at fault or blamed, quote unquote, for it occurring. You know, and so if we've seen that, I know we got to go for break. If we've seen this type of behavior in society that's going on, what makes it any different now than what we've seen in January? You know, January 6th, or the potentiality that were there. It's just that these people that happened to January 6th were held accountable for what they did. Okay, the ones that didn't, you know, and at that time, perhaps they get held accountable for it. You know, this is where I know I don't want to get into this right now, but this is where, you know, the situation where our reparations situation comes in and the blockage from all of those other type of things. Because when you have a group of people saying they finally admit that they've done wrong, you know, for a longest period of time, destroyed cities, the Emmett Tills, all these other people that swung from trees, and, you know, and the strange fruit, you know, as the songs they put out there. I'm just gonna, you know, kind of running over all those scenarios. But now it's a time where the rooster's coming to crow. Okay, you know, and the rooster is asking, not but demanding something to pay attention. But at the same time, you got this other group over here that's going to say, "Hey, we're not going to let that happen." But we'll pick that up when we come back from break. All right, see y'all in a second.
Mark, Republicans have been claiming for this entire election cycle that undocumented immigrants are voting en masse and tilting the balance of the election in Democrats' favor. Georgia then just audited its entire 8.2 million voter roll. What did Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger find?
So let's just start with the top line. Out of 8.2 million voters, okay, 8.2 million, he found 20 that he says were non-citizens who were registered. Of those, 11 didn't vote. So the entire charade that they went through, this entire rigmarole, the expenditure of taxpayer money, all of the press releases, all of the drama was because he says 9 people voted who were not U.S. citizens out of 8.2 million. And let me just say, Brad Raffensperger, has an image for being a moderate, but Brad Raffensperger has also been part of the Republican drumbeat to demagogue on this issue. So I assure you, if there were people to be found, Brad Raffensperger wanted to find them. And, if there was an argument that there were 9.5, we would have heard 9.5.
And I bet they were people other than white. Because to be honest with you, when you think about immigrants these days, they're not talking about European immigrants. They're talking about Haitians and Mexicans and Venezuelans and all these people, these brown people that are coming across the border. But nobody's talking about those who fly from Sweden.
And they found in other states where Republicans are voting 2 and 3 times. There's no Democrat or liberal or anybody else doing this nonsense. It's people on the right. They found that there are Republicans in other states that are voting several times. So if you're complaining about everybody else, it's your people that's doing it. And the crazy part about this is we're spending taxpayers' money on stuff that doesn't need to be spent on. 5 hearings on Benghazi, 3 hearings on all this other stuff. We don't even need all those hearings. People like Jim Jordan and all these other guys that need to be investigated. Matt Gaetz, who's been already investigated for transporting women across the state line. None of that's done. But they really want to know about Kamala being black.
Well, you know what and Charlamagne brought this up on CNN, and I wish we would have had this clip because him and Anderson Cooper almost got into it. But the fact that they've been mostly talking about Kamala's heritage instead of Trump's fascism has been the most talked about situation on that news channel. Now, don't get me wrong. It's very intriguing and people are curious about her background. But that's, to be honest with you, that's not important to helping me pay this rent. That's not helping me pay down the whatever. That's not even helping us change the tax laws because we need the tax laws to change because we're now figuring out that there are a lot of people in this country that are not paying their fair share of taxes, and most of them run corporations.
Warren Buffett said you can take the top 800 companies and let them pay their fair share, and the whole society, civilian, the whole United States civilian population wouldn't have to pay taxes. Which tells you how much they're getting away with.
Yours truly, Mr. Tesla. He runs the most socialist corporation within the United States. He gets money from others to run his company.
Now,
Plus,
this is the
most segregated company too.
Yeah, but look at it. It's illegal to offer people money for their votes, and he's doing it out in the public. He's offering money to do it, and nobody's saying what. If this had been Reverend Wright saying the chickens that come home to roost, they'd have crucified him. Right. But yet, we got this man here actually paying.
He's not even American,
and he's not even
African, supposedly.
Him and Trump's granddaddies were just racist people that came over here doing dirt. That's all it was. And the crazy part about all this is we so busy worried about whether Kamala black or white or Indian or whatever, but we're not looking at Trump. Trump's whole history is nothing but con artists.
He put money behind that rhetoric.
That's my problem.
That situation with her heritage was pushed on X through Elon Musk. All of that was, and that's the funniest thing about it because black folks, we talk so damn much anyway. We are the 6 o'clock news for everybody's craziness. And to be honest with you, this man figured out our rhetoric and put money behind it. And hey, Trump found out what the rhetoric was and he utilized it. So the saddest thing about it is, though, I hate to say it, but Elon Musk really is helping and backing
Oh yeah.
this
Absolutely.
mess.
Absolutely.
$25 million a month.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, wow.
But you have to think about it though. That
Excuse me. Hold on a second now. Charles, check our broadcast on the Facebook side because it's not. I don't think it's broadcasting live on the Facebook side.
That's one of those they told me it's not linked. That's what I kept telling you.
The situation at hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
All
that's
right.
what it is.
Okay, gotcha. But go ahead.
But you can't blame the pimp for pimping. I mean, hell, if Elon Musk was raping America, Americans would like that. I feel like Americans love to be raped because they listen and they fall for this craziness because this man has lots of money. What they say all the time, it's the job creators that should have all this freedom.
It's the
They create the
trickle
job.
down theory. The only thing trickles down is wetness when they pee on you. That's about the only thing that's going to trickle down on you.
Hey, I don't blame Elon Musk. If he could do it, go for what you know. But it's the saddest thing that working class Americans don't understand the power that we have in numbers. We're so busy divided and going against the grain when we know we need better.
Right.
We need better.
Right.
But hell, I mean, hey.
But we're gullible. I wish I could play the video of the young men in Chicago that were going up to the bodega, and the guy said, "Who you voting for, Kamala or Trump?" And they go, "Not that heifer. I'm voting for Trump, man. Trump got us money." How ignorant are you? And I'm gonna say this, and I might go viral, but them dumbass niggas don't know nothing. They get on there and they talk this nonsense, and they have no understanding of how civics work or how this democracy, which is only an experiment, how it is based. And they sit up and they say this stuff. Don't vote like was it Umar and Ice Cube? Don't vote. Don't hold your vote. Hold your vote till you get something. You dumb, stupid ass. I'm so sick of hearing these ignorant people talk. And
I tell y'all, I don't know why anybody listen to Umar in the first place.
And Cube act like he Jesus because he had niggas with an attitude. Now he can say stuff everybody's supposed to say. Well, Cube said it, so now that's what we're supposed to do because Cube said it.
Well, it goes into a lot of, I was having a discussion. When people don't on perspective, you don't know who you are. When you don't know who you are, you fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what tickles your fancy at a particular moment, or you think that you're going to get something.
It's agenda based.
Well,
we like agendas in this country.
Yeah.
We support agendas. That's what keeps us going. Us supporting pop culture. I mean, yes, Beyonce, she went and she spoke for Kamala Harris. And yeah, the Beehive, they went, crazy about it. But the saddest thing about it is, did it really have to take Beyonce? Did Beyonce really need to speak for you to open your eyes to how important this is? The same thing for, what's going on the right. It would take Hulk Hogan to open up some eyes too. But the saddest thing about it is it's just that certain people, certain sectors of the country, they love an agenda, abortion, gay marriage, all of this. I will support this candidate because he is a God-fearing candidate. But what does God-fearing, is that going to help me pay down my bills? That's what I keep asking. What is him being God-fearing? Is that's going to help the gas go down?
But what is God-fearing? What is God-fearing?
I just want to know.
Please.
Go ahead, Darnell. Say what you're going to say, because I know you've been holding still.
Real quick, Darnell, I want to remind you guys, you can call in line, 213-335-5553. Controversial, yes. Say it, yes. If we want to talk about it, yes. All right, use that number. All right, go ahead, Darnell.
So I'm just, it saddens me. But the thing about it, it's back to what you were saying about the fact of the Beehive and the people. You have to think about with everything. Yes, of course, the normal person, they would think that, why would it take Beyonce to be able to come for that? But you have to think about the demographic and the people that relate to her. They're younger people. So younger people, one, they are not into politics. That's it.
Right.
Same thing like I keep saying, like we were saying about the Meg Thee Stallion. So you have to know that in order, and see, I think that a lot of people aren't realizing that we're in a different day and time now. We can't keep, you got to take your mind back from 2010, 2015, 2017. We're now in a moment in time where therefore everything is all about what they see. And the younger kids, they're not taught the things in school. They don't have government economics and stuff like that in school.
Or
They don't
civics.
have all of these things in school.
Right.
So of course, you got to have someone to be able to come and say, "Hey, this is what you do." Because right now, half of the people who are voting are younger people. They're
Right.
first-time voters.
Right.
These are first-time voters. So how you gonna tell somebody who ain't never voted before, don't know nothing about politics, just come and vote for me?
Right. Yeah.
You have to make things make sense.
It certainly makes sense in terms of that, and I guess not being there, we don't necessarily hear the full message as to what these, celebrities are saying to the, to this crowd. And I get it for whatever perspective that you're coming from to have these people in front of people, because face it, in our society now is that it's like celebrities have the last voice. Pretty much, like you start out, Charles, talk about Ice Cube, and and God knows, I mean, Charlemagne God knows every damn thing. Leonard, so he knows everything about everybody's everything about everybody's everything. So and don't know nothing about nobody's nothing, anything. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about the man of
what the perfect strategy is. We get Jaguar right to tell everybody to vote, and I bet they all run out there and vote.
Cue the music.
Yeah.
I got eye on it.
Like last night, I saw and I watched the last night debate with the Factor of It. She had, and see, amongst all of that, last night was kind of one of those icing on the cake for the demographic of people who needed to be reached for the end, because you had the Beyonce and Kelly. They came out there and they spoke about things that was relatable to the fact, and it's just to say, this is it, this is all. It don't matter how men feel about it. It don't matter how men feel, or whatever the case may be. Like Beyonce say, who run the world? It is women.
Yeah.
Without a woman, we are nothing. End of discussion. We might turn around and can shoot the semen inside of her and get her pregnant, but guess what? She's the person who turn things into what it needs to be. End of discussion.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. And that's the masses that need to be spoken to right now, because those are going to be the ones that's going to push this thing to where it needs to be. Because guess what? If men could do exactly what needs to be done, we wouldn't be in the shit show in which we are in now.
Well, Morgan Freeman said it last night on Jimmy Kimmel. He said, "I'm getting tired of these old white men running the country. It's time for a woman to take over."
Right. Well,
And but the thing about it is, and that shocked me when he said it, because him and what's his name off of the cowboy film, y'all know the guy, the director, his friend. I keep forgetting his name. Clint Eastwood, the one that told Obama to go sit his ass down somewhere and shut up. That he said that. Remember, he said he had that empty chair on stage. He said, "You sit your ass down and you shut up. Let the people who know what they're talking about teach you some things, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about." And we all knew where he was coming from. That rhetoric is, and it's now being said about Kamala, because Kamala's stupid. And her uncle, and not her uncle, but her daddy was a Don Marshall's professor. So all that rhetoric, it's all coded. Right. See, that's what people, at least we know, who pay attention. We know about coded messages. Mm-hmm. The younger generation don't understand that this stuff plays a part into racism, misogyny, homophobia. These are coded languages that has been utilized to describe Black folks and women all these years, and Kamala just getting the brunt of it. I hate to say it.
But think about this, though. This is the key. I want you to place your mind on something. Mm-hmm. When you were a kid, what did your mama do?
Shield us.
Absolutely. That's what her job, and that's what her job right now is to come in to do, is to shield the people. To shield and to heal. But the people can't seem to get it, because of the factor is this: they're so broken in their own personal lives. Only people who talking foolishness are the broken people.
Yeah, that's true. That is no doubt true. But I keep going. You guys have heard me say it over and over again. I keep going back to the fact is that, what are the solutions that we have for these broken people? It's certainly, in some cases, in certain sectors, that we can't say that it's either one of these particular candidates, and that's just kind of open it up for those that are on either side or in the middle, trying to make a decision on what they want to do. But what message can we start sending to humanity? It's like, you got to get yourself healed. You know, and it's an individual task.
That's
You know,
Work on your ship, as you say.
uh-huh. What'd you
Work
say?
on your ship, as you say.
Yeah, work on your ship. Yeah, that's
But to work on oneself is a very progressive attitude.
oh.
And
Elaborate, please.
that's the truth.
Yeah.
And that is the truth behind the truth. Some people just don't have time, and it's not in their energy
That's
to
good.
work on themselves because they don't see themselves being wrong in anything and everything that they believe in. I mean, I hate to say it though. I mean, that's just the way people are. People don't want to see the wrong in what they're doing. They feel like if this is who I am.
Uh-huh.
I'm standing in my truth, even though your truth is ignorance.
Right.
But this is who I am. And sometimes you need to push those people at arm's length because I'm like Maya Angelou. I got to protect my spirit. I don't have to forgive you to your face. I will forgive you from a distance. Just keep away from me.
Right.
And I believe in that because I don't have time to speak life into somebody who has a lot of darkness. And you can't speak life into those people who support certain agendas that Trump and certain Christian writer, certain David Duke agenda. You can't speak life into that because they already see darkness and they believe that it. I hate to say it, we are better divided than together.
Yeah.
And that is the forces that, hey, those who are wanting kumbaya, we're not going to get that, hey, just right away because you're going to have to really go through and change old habits. And some people just don't want to change.
This is true.
I work on jobs where, people don't like change. I work with, I hate this, I don't like to be an ageist, but you have old heads that they don't like change.
Every day.
Well, it is what it is.
But I tell folks, that, listen, if you don't want to work on, if you don't want to have your kumbaya hundred, I leave you to your madness. I know what I turn around and I know what I want for me, and I'm gonna have it for me. What you do for you, knock yourself out. If you want to be over there miserable, honey, knock yourself out.
And let's take politics out of it. Let's talk about the LGBTQIA. Let's talk about our families. Let's talk about our friends. You can try to speak new things into people. Say, well, listen, I don't think the way you're walking is the right way to walk. Let's think about another hypothesis in doing things. Well, I think what I'm doing has been always right. So what's the problem?
Right.
It's nothing you can do. You just have to pray up for them if you believe in praying and let them walk that path by themselves. Hey.
So I'm telling you, I leave people to their own devices. If you like it, I love it. Knock yourself out.
And knock yourself out. I mean, you tell people, hey, don't go have sex without a condom. You will make a baby or you will catch an STD. Well, I've been doing it for many years. I haven't caught nothing yet, but you might catch that right one.
Well, speaking of that, so we were having this conversation just a short bit ago. And
a year ago?
No, just not even a hot second ago. So how certain states are having this you can't say gay or can't be gay, and they're trying to pass these laws where you can be prosecuted for being an openly gay person and all these type things. Now, and I was stating a little bit ago, it's crazy how they're trying to take this thing back to, you remember back in the 50s, 40s, so where you couldn't be gay and you had all these closeted individuals. And guess what ended up being on the rise?
Well,
a whole AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, true.
That's a whole nother crisis within itself.
Hold on that. We gotta go to break. Charles.
Yeah, we sure do.
Okay. Let's go to break. Let's keep that going.
Okay.
We're just on the way back.
Right. Yes, sir. So we'll be right back after this quick minute. All right. We'll see you in a second.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Hey, it's a nice conversation that's going on, right?
That's right.
Go ahead,
Darnell. Go on, start it.
So you think about this though. So there's a reasoning, no matter how people feel, that people should be able to live and be who they want to be. One reason, as I was stating, so if they go and pass these laws, or whatever the case may be, there's a lot of people who are DL individuals, discreet individuals out here, among the factor of just the normal gay people. So if you are a person and they pass this law, you now don't feel comfortable with going into these clinics to be able to go and do your checkup. Or the doctors to turn around and feel like they're going to be criminally prosecuted, like they can have it like in that magnitude. Now you got a whole nother crisis going on, that now you got an AIDS crisis going on because the people aren't taking care of themselves. They're not going out and being aware of going to do their normal testing and all this other stuff. So then what happens then? You now are able to, they don't know what's going on with them. They get sick. This person go out here and then they go and infecting people. They're doing all this stuff. So you got a whole nother big situation going on, greater than what you see. It's great. It's bigger than the factor of being just being a gay person, and that's what people fail to realize. It's bigger than just being a gay person. Just being gay and being
you. But Florida passed that law though.
Yeah, I'm saying it's way bigger than that, and people don't understand the mere fact of that. Because if people can't turn around and feel okay with being able to say, "Hey, I'm a gay person," and I do turn around and have relations with the factor of this other party, and now I feel comfortable enough I can go into this clinic and go and get tested without the factor of feeling like there's going to be a problem or I'm going to be in some type of trouble or whatever the case may be. You keep it where, therefore you don't have all these people. We don't have a whole situation that's crazy, because that shit is spread like wildfire.
Well, the number one thing to keep you in a position of being separate is always to magnify the things that somebody doesn't like about you, no matter what it is. So if we can keep that in front of you on a regular basis, then it's always going to be a mode to find a way to keep you out from allowing you to be in. And I mean, historically, we know that has been the case, in America by and large, whether we have these separate, ideas of people groups, whether it's, LGBTQ, whether it's black with no hair, black with long hair, black bald. I mean, there's always, and a lot of that problematic situation is within your own culture, and we tend to step outside of our culture to find the solutions to the things that we're talking about right now, but the solution is within your own culture. And until you frame the idea that's going on with you, as I said earlier, that the outside of you, that everybody else is going to view you just what you present out there on a regular basis. Now if let's just shift it just for a moment here. If you got, I'm not casting any stones, okay, but I'm just using this as an identifying point. If you've got young people that dress in these manners, that that people go in to these stores and they do the looting and they do the robbing and everything, and we have adopted certain elements as quote unquote fashion, but they go in there quote unquote maybe innocent, completely innocent, but you look like somebody because you got that certain element of dread, you wearing the hood, you're doing all these other type of things, and you get mad because you are assumed to be something that you're not. So what do we do in the culture, which I keep going back to? What do we do in the culture to change the mindset within the ranks of the culture? Because if you think of yourself down here, nobody's ever going to think of yourself up here. You've got to start raising the expectations in the culture. Okay, we can't blame Trump. We can't blame Kamala. We can't blame Barack. We can't blame Mitt Romney. We can't blame John McCain. We can't blame, and the list goes on. We got to deal with what's in the ranks of the culture itself, and then take your rightful place, not demanding, but take your rightful place, because people begin to see you, who you are, and what value you bring to it. But you got to value yourself first before you can demand some value on somebody else.
JB, Loretta tried to call in. She says she's having issues with calling in.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, you know what? Trump proposes in his Agenda 47, when it boiled down to rights of transgenders, he said his hard stance against transgender rights, calling for any healthcare provider providing gender-affirming care for the youth to be terminated from Medicare and Medicaid, stripping federal funding from any schools where an official or teacher suggests a child could be trapped in the wrong body, and encouraging Congress to pass legislation saying that the only gender recognized by the U.S. government are male and female, and they are assigned by birth.
Right.
So, the thing about that is, that that law that has been pushed in Florida, that is going to, and Trump's situation is going to propel as a federal law. That right there is very dangerous. I'm just saying, don't say gay law. Then it's gonna come down and say you can't say, don't
say black law.
Don't, that too. And then on top of that, they are already trying in the curriculum to ban any type of situation that slavery was that has input in of that situation back in that time,
or woven into society.
Yeah, basically.
I understand the certain elements that
that's
okay,
dangerous.
It is. But you're removing one's experiences. I don't want. Me myself personally, y'all know this. I don't like to make slavery a part of our culture.
I don't. Yeah.
See that's not a part of the culture, but we've got it is. And so many people in this ranks of African American, they think that slavery is a part of your culture. That's why we can't elevate from where we are at this point. And then we lean toward things that support that idea. And then with that, it goes into our religious settings. We don't read. We go into our religious settings because a lot of the things that we believe in our church settings come from that mentality. See, we've got to change the mentality in order to elevate. And I will keep saying that. But if we still aspire to think like this direction, okay, we can't elevate to another place. And then we accept everything that comes as, well, this is where we're supposed to be, or in our community, they didn't bring this to us. Why did they have to bring it to you? Why can't you go and find the information out? You got every viable means to get information in your life to change your narrative now. Google will tell you everything you want to know, whether it's right or wrong, okay? Some of it's wrong. All right, but it will tell you everything you need. There are no excuses to elevate your culture. Okay, and but we buy into the less, the less required, because we don't want to make the change. We don't want to. Not everybody, but a lot of us don't want to read. A lot of us don't want to challenge the pastor on what the pastor is saying, what is really out of line. Okay,
just like that one that said that, the black church.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you want to bring that up.
Honey, I got to bring that thing up. At the end of the day. So I know it's shifting conversations where we weren't, guys, but I do got to bring it up. Thank you for bringing it up, because I don't know if you guys, those of you on Instagram, y'all need to go find this man, or either go to my page, I'll put it back up there, go to Larry Reed's spread, okay? But this man has just lost his GD mind, okay, coming from the pulpit and what he said about black people. Okay, because basically what he said is, you are the most irresponsible people. The black church is the most irresponsible church there has ever been, and we have misled everybody. A lot of that is true, okay, but not the way that he put it. Okay, let me finish my point. A lot of that is true because we have taught people that are in that setting a lot of misnomers and blamed it on God, where it was been our own agenda being pushed at people, okay, to keep them in a subservient area. Because this is the kind of talk that we need to have to black people, to the black pastors, okay? Tell the truth behind the truth and stop fluffing that shit. Okay, because you're fluffing something that you have no business fluffing, and you're putting people in bondage. Okay, your job as a pastor, not indirectly, but your job as a pastor, if you're in that category, you should be elevating people to another place, not putting them in an agenda. Okay, or letting them feel bad about themselves, or you feel because they doing this, or they gay, or they went to the party, or they took a little marijuana, or they drank a little wine, or whatever your rules are. Okay, they have nothing to do with scripture or the elevation of people. This is why we have the problems we do in the community, because you don't deal with the truth behind the truth. You deal with behavior issues. Behavior issues is not spiritual. Okay, let me shut up before I get in this. I don't want to get no deep. I'm going too far. But anyway, go ahead, Darnell. Sorry, I had to go on that rant.
I mean, it's so many. Yeah, I think the fact that right now it's just we gotta get the deception of the people, the blinders taken off of the people's eyes of deception all the way across the board, from religion to just their personal lives,
Right.
to this election, just all of this.
But-
And if they do that, I think that they will be that's a part of them being able to take self accountability.
Right. But it's a cycle. You know what I'm saying? And then we talk about breaking cycles. You know, breaking a cycle is saying stop it, stop the shit, stop whatever you want to put on it. Stop the behavior in which you're operating in. But what happens is we keep these cycles going year after year after year, generation after generation, and we wonder why, even the fact that we are fading off in society, and we're becoming like an anonymous group of people that. But we're becoming an anonymous group of people that are been the gifted to be one of the most powerful people on this planet. But we allow ourselves to fall down this trap. We can't blame no other people. We can't. I'm sorry. Hold on. It makes us sound good to say, well, the white man do this, white man did it, white man. Okay, it sounds good, but where's your responsibility in that? Where are you telling him to get out of my community and stop saying these things about me? Where do you start feeling strong about yourself and stop letting those things happen? But I always say, and I will keep saying it, where we assemble together every Sunday. Okay, it's a religious practice that we do. Pastors, get on your damn job, okay, and stop telling people they going to hell because you already there.
That is a cultural thing.
I know what I'm saying, but stop it, please. Save your people. Save your people. Shut your mouth and save your people, please. You know, it's ridiculous.
No, you can't. And I hear what you're saying, but
right.
The thing about it is it's going to take the people, like
Well,
we've
yeah,
been
true.
saying,
Exactly.
to change up the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I'm just putting on the pastor for that moment.
But the pastor's going to keep making that money.
Yeah, okay.
Charles can agree. It's a business.
Right.
I got to make my money. And if I keep telling my people they're going to go to hell and they believe it, then hell, that's going to keep me in the house. And I cannot blame the pimp. I won't keep reiterating this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't blame the pimp for pimping the people. It's going to take the people to come up out of the pimp's home.
Okay.
And stop drinking of the Kool-Aid.
Right.
You got to say to yourself, wait a minute now, listen, I'm not going to put no more money into this because this is becoming ridiculous.
Right.
But hey, it is what it is when it boils down to the fact that if you don't want to change, that's what you will. Hey,
right.
You end up
like Mama Loretta said, I understand what you're saying about the fact is now I'm not saying all pastors, okay. I'm generalizing the fact straight across the board. I realize that there are a lot of pastors that are out there that are trying to elevate the mindset of people, but the ones that are on the forefront, and these are the ones that are getting exposed about their behaviors, even the things that they do in their offices when they're not supposed to be doing with people that they doing stuff with. Okay, so what you do in secret will be rewarded openly. Okay, so get for it. If you're doing that stuff in secret, guess what? It's gonna come to the light. But what I'm saying is
you ain't got to be a pastor to go through
that's
that.
true.
You can
Absolutely.
be a politician. You can be a teacher.
A singer,
you can be a husband. You can be a wife.
Absolutely.
You can be a side chick, a side. You can be all of those things and still have that situation happen.
Right.
It's just the fact that you need to walk in your truth.
Right. Absolutely.
You need to be
Absolutely.
truthful with the situation, and that's one thing I wish. And I'm gonna end it. This is why as Kamala.
Uh-huh.
And not only Kamala, because to be honest with Trump, we already know he is on that foolishness. But if I was Kamala, I'd be walking and talking all types of craziness along with the rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be honest with you, they don't. I feel like, to be honest with you, she ain't. And this is my gripe with Kamala. It ain't about the heritage. It's about the fact that how you need to get angry. You need to come with that earthy shit. because I'm
Well,
tired of
she
people
was talking her. She was
need
talking
to be
her.
like Michelle Obama. You need to have
Ship.
that West. You need to have that West Chicago grit
She
come
was
up out
talking
of
her
you.
ship
Because to be
last
honest,
night. When I tell you she was talking her ship last night, she was talking her ship last night.
hey,
She
she
was she. I think, but you have to. It's to go back to like we were saying. We have to know. If she was able to, I think if she was running as just a regular candidate as she is, a lot of things that she wants to say, she would be able. She would say it.
Yeah.
But you have to think about this
He
too.
has to play a
This
part of
woman
it. You're
is
right.
behind the seal. She's standing
right.
behind the seal. You can't
Right.
say all that stuff behind the seal.
Right. That's true.
But you know what? And I'm going to say this: nobody's pure in this bunch.
Okay.
Nobody's pure in this bunch. All these folks who are coming around talking about, well, you know, she ain't black, she Indian. Well, honey, you ain't that black either. Those slave masters went into those homes, went into those slave cabins, and ran havoc. Listen, spread it, laid it low and spread it wide. Trust, I have some Irish and German all up and through me. So I'm just saying, ain't nobody's pure in this bunch. And if Kamala could come on TV and say, y'all bastards, trust and believe. Yes, I am.
Her favorite cuss word is ML. She said her favorite cuss word is the ML.
Right. Okay.
She said, that is my favorite cuss word. If you said FD2.
Go ahead, Charles.
Crash out sometimes. Truth behind the truth.
Go ahead, Charles. Oh, you got yourself muted, brother.
Swing the hair a little bit. Put it all in your face. Motherfucker. I am in there, motherfucker. And I'm black too. I'll put some curd chicken in your face.
Charles, you're on mute, Charles.
You're on mute, Charles.
Unmute yourself, Charles.
Hey, I call them dumbass Negroes with love. It's all love. Because the one thing I do know is that until we take our people and try to express to them and show them the light, they won't find it. You can't, unless somebody opens the door, shines a light, there's no way to find their way out of the darkness. Yes. So with that kind of understanding, we just know that we have to do better. We have to take care of each other. We are our brother's keeper, because without each other, we won't survive.
Absolutely. I you know, and you know, I think one thing about this team, this group, you know, even when we're preparing, you know, for our weekly shows and things like that, the conversations we have, you know, this is why it's so sometimes hard for me to get around where the limited space that viewership allows itself not to follow us as they should, because everything, even though we seem like we may go off the deep end, not really off the deep end, we're going off the deep end for a purpose, okay, to draw you in to hear another level of a conversation that you should be paying attention to. These men of color right through here, and our guests and everybody that comes up is a part of this show, is always trying to send a message to, yes, first and foremost to the African American community, but yet other communities that are out there. First of all, to let you know that there are men of color that know how to speak intelligently, okay, that know information, that are wise in history, you know, the list that goes on to bring you a better understanding about it. Now, I agree, Charles, but the main part here is that ones that are within the ranks of the community that hear messages like this and will not make the opportunity to change, but number one, for themselves. That is where I think we as a show, we're going to dig in. We're going to find out. All right. Because this has got to change. Otherwise, if it doesn't, we see a generation that's going to perish.
We won't get reparations.
Well, hey, okay.
Okay. I'm just saying, we ain't getting reparations if we don't change.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
we're going to be like the children of Israel walking in the wilderness over centuries trying to
let my people go.
I'm going to be called a tether, but at the end of the day, if we don't change our mindset, there ain't no reparations coming around the corner. No, it's not. And that's me being a Christian. I think God is holding those reparations until black folks get on one accord. Okay. You ain't getting not a damn dime. Okay. You ain't getting nothing. That's God.
Yes.
That's go the Christian route. Yeah, God is doing it in the midst. He's holding those funds. Withholding funds until y'all black asses change y'all's frame of thought.
That may be the truth. Behind the truth, you know.
I'm telling you,
yeah, but you know, but we really do. Thank you for that. That was good. That was good. We do. I mean, and
return the sender.
Yeah, I know. I can't. You know, but it's true. I mean, it's true. But you know, but again, back to that original point here, you know, and I'm out put down, you know, being our brother's keeper. You know, I mean, even in understanding, even in that statement, it sounds good in theory, you know, but if you've never been taught to be your brother's keeper, you know, then it becomes something else, and it seems like it's a very foreign statement to say that to someone, you know, because that those words sound good, but that's got to be a desire from one's heart, you know, to be your brother's keeper. And if you don't know how to desire that, if that's something that you've never seen in your community per se, if you are from a community that is, you know, with situation where they're shooting in the street every day, and you know, and you got, you know, such a person on, you know, and all these other type of things, you know, it really is. It's a very difficult thing, you know, to do. You know, when you don't understand the purpose of being your brother's keeper, it really is, you know, because that means in every area. That means that, you know, if it's a friend of yours and, you know, you've been friends for a year and you need to go pay his rent for him, guess what? You go pay his rent for him. You know what I'm saying? If he needs you and not, well, when you gonna give it back, and you know, no, just go take care of your brother. That's your brother's keeper. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I was gonna say that. You know,
the Ethiopian community, because
right,
they believe
they will do that in being their brother's keeper.
That's right.
Okay, they really do. You know, and we can learn from that.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? That's something we can learn. But there's just so much selfish behavior that has been woven into the community. Yeah, and woven into this, and I've got to be up here, and you got to be down here, and then you know, then the same thing that's been referred to this community all the time, being crabs in the barrel.
Too much, like Steve Harvey said, you're sleeping too much. Well, anyway. Wake up and make some money. You're sleeping too much.
Let's talk about somebody that's relevant that has something to say. Okay, anyway, but you know, and it again, shows like ours, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that is our mission. We've been doing it for 5 years. Okay, really trying to help you guys to elevate and see yourself a lot different than where you have been. Okay, not saying that you're wrong. Okay, because we don't have a right to tell anybody that they're wrong about anything. Okay, you have lived and conditioned yourself based upon your environment, and that's understandable. All right, but in that environment, does it warrant a change? Probably, absolutely. Yes. Okay,
and if you're voting, and I'm saying this, truth behind the truth, if you are voting, you have to think about this. Are you voting for humanity over money, or money over humanity? That's just I'm gonna repeat that. Are you voting for humanity over money, or money over humanity? Right. What is important?
Right.
The well-being.
That's right, Charles.
What'd you say, Charles? Darnell?
That's right. Go your ass out there and vote.
Go vote.
You see the shape of that thing? You see the shape of that piece up there? That's your ass. Get out there and vote.
I want to check too. I want to check. Truth behind the truth. I want to check, but I don't want to lose my rights.
Get your ass out there and vote. I don't give a damn what side you vote on. If you vote on the other side and the shit don't fall apart like it's supposed to, guess what? You deal with it. You deal with the fallout of it all.
That's true. And if I can't get my reparations, I want a little bit of a stimulus, but I don't want to lose my marriage over a stimulus.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't want to swing from a tree over a stimulus. I want to get my check in peace.
So listen, these people, if you want some money, get your tail up and go to work.
Well, that's
we work all day, every day. We ain't getting that type of stimulus.
Yeah, I didn't get one from our household didn't get one at all, so it didn't matter. One with other.
Wait a minute, that lady, the lady from North Carolina, what's her name? Miss Brown. Is that something with the lady that does all the vegan stuff? Tabitha Brown. Let me tell y'all something. This thing was on there talking about she was driving for Uber because of the fact that she didn't have a job. She didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5, so she was driving Uber. So one day her husband was sitting in the backyard talking, discussing how they were going to pay all their debt down, right? And she wrote out a list manifesting what towards the end of the year what she was going to do. She was going to star in her first commercial, and she was going to make millions of dollars and all this stuff. And sure enough, it happened. Sometimes you just gotta manifest certain things.
Well, sometimes, no, all the time.
All the time.
Like Darnell said, we gotta manifest that Kamala gonna get in. She gonna get in. I manifest that in the name of Jesus.
There you go.
It is already spoken from to the universe, that therefore all is well, and she will be able to do. She's gonna get in. And it's gonna be history made again, and
Right.
all is gonna be well,
Yes, all
and
will be
people are
well.
going to be healed
Our
in the
passport,
manner
right?
in which they're gonna start their healing
That's
in that
right.
moment
Right.
or whatever.
True.
In the manner in which they should, we can get some turnaround with this country.
And we will
We
get a
can get some
stimulus.
prices down. Child damn that stimulus.
Again.
You
What if
gonna
she?
if you
What
get
if she was
listen,
to win and we get a stimulus in the mailbox? Now that would
if
be
you
something.
get that stimulus, them folks were so upset about that stimulus, baby. Listen, they turned around and really figured out that they got $35 back in taxes,
I know we did.
thinking that they were gonna get a good taxes back, and they took the money back in taxes.
I know we had to pay some money back in taxes.
Let's not even bring black folk in Texas together, because Texas was a very deceiving point for black folk. Okay, but that
Texas? You talking about taxes?
No, I said Texas.
Oh,
Okay.
You know what was crazy and what was heartwarming to me? I saw a video yesterday, and it was this elderly lady, and she was talking about the factor of she had a shirt on, and it was so beautiful. And on the shirt, she had the check from and the thing from where she was doing the voting suppression time, where they had to pay $2 to be able to vote,
Right.
and they were only making $2 a month.
wow.
She said, but I turn around and this is the check that I from when I voted, and she got it printed on the shirt. It was the actual shirt, and she was so ecstatic. She was almost, I think she said, I'll be 90 years old if the Lord tell me in December. She said, and I am so happy to be able to one vote for free, and she started dancing.
Wow.
She said, and to be able to vote for a woman.
Wow.
Something I never thought in my lifetime that would ever happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that's a good point of our wrap tonight. You
That's
know,
right.
very good point, because the value in voting, some of you may not feel like it's, an important thing to do, but on an all serious tip, okay, there are a lot of people that died and sacrificed their life, for you to be able to, extend the point of a vote. Okay. You ask the ones that went across the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
There were people who actually had to go into the office and count up the jars of jelly beans,
right, to get the vote.
Ain't that some mess?
So we try not to tell you how to vote, okay?
Just go vote.
Just go vote, okay? But vote for Kamala when you vote. But I'm not trying to tell you how to vote,
because Trump said you ain't gonna vote if he wins. It's going out the window. Right. You won't ever have to vote ever again, because he's gonna win each and every election. Right. So if you don't vote, there won't be any more elections. But hey, that is the plan. Right. If he becomes president, there won't be any elections. Right. There won't.
And just think about it now. If you vote for that,
we didn't say it. He said it.
I know. If you vote for that, and that man got in, okay, and he was supposed to be in there for life. Now, could you imagine what's going to follow him?
Melania?
Dumb and dumber. Okay, Melania. Dumb and dumber. All right. So if you want to understand what Dumb and Dumber, go see the movie. And you understand what I'm talking about. Dumb and Dumber. Eric and what's his name? What's that boy's name? Eric and Don Jr. Dumb and Dumbass, or Dumb and Dumbass, or Dumb and Dumb somebody. But anyway, all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. It has been a rewarding and exciting evening again. If you're catching on Facebook, like we had a little technical difficulty on one page, but we'll get that straightened out for you for next week. But the show will be re-aired, so you can definitely go see that again throughout the week. Share it with everybody. Please tell them about coming over here. We had talked about it, just throwing on some thing, but I'd like to see us kind of go live on election night. And giving our spin, but I'll get with my technicians and all that, see if we can make that happen on election night. That'll be a special coverage for us. Everybody else is doing it, but it'd be nice, for The Truth Behind the Truth to be live as things are unfolding, throughout the nation at that time. We probably won't be live when it all goes down, but at least certain portions of the night that we can be live, doing that as well. So kind of keep that. We'll post that and let you know. We're going to be able to do that on election night. But until then, we'll be right back here next week, giving the final word for the final vote for this final voting season. Yeah. All right. Y'all have a powerful night. Listen to what we said. Make it a part of your life. Make the changes that are necessary so the changes that are necessary can be made. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on what?
The
The truth behind the truth. Good night.
All right.